Hi there, you join me here. We're at the Regent Street Glyndŵr University Art School, and we're talking to some fine art students and art and design students who are in their second and third year. So we're just really trying to find out about their experiences at Glyndŵr. So guys, what basically made you come to Glyndŵr University? Was there any specific reasons?
Just the atmosphere of the building. I think it's really important, especially when you're studying fine art, is that the building and the kind of atmosphere is really important, because fine art, a lot of it comes from you and your tutors guide you through it. So the fact that you connect to the tutors and the building is really important, because your studio space is going to be in there.
And do you find sort of that you've got a lot of space to sort of do your work, or how do you find sort of the building? Do you find it quite helpful to do your work, or?
Yeah, we've got plenty of space.
Yeah.
And we really like this building because it's got lots of character. It's old and it's been used for loads of things. It's an old hospital and an old it's an old everything.
Plus, like with all the years, all 3 years, sort of like all together. So it's a nice feel. We're not separated. We're all in like rooms, so you can be surrounded by everyone's work and take influences.
We're all in the same corridor.
Yeah, you just walk into any room, just look at everybody else's work.
Yeah.
The whole building's quite all-inclusive. I mean, like, I have friends in illustration studios, like, most of the people that specialise in sculpture will know people that are actually taking a degree in fine arts. It just is really good feel. Like, it is a community, yeah.
So there's not sort of a difference between like sort of first years and third years. You're all kind of sort of.
It's a difference, but
well, it sounds like, as you've been telling me, that you work together a lot on things and sort of give each other ideas. Is that?
Yeah, it's sort of how we work as the art school is that you can walk into someone's area and just ask how they've done that or what's inspired them to make that piece of work, and essentially it's what you do in the outside world, where it's a bit more immediate, having someone there to talk you through it if they know something that you don't, you've learned something new.
You can always, guaranteed you can always find somebody's work that you can relate to, or have that experience where you want to recreate that.
You also have a thing where, because we all know about each other's work, which I think is actually quite unusual, we're all quite invested in each other's work, there will always be someone like, oh, I found like this great artist you could use, or I found this research. I mean, we're actually in this space together and we've learned so much from each other so far.
Yeah, it's really freeing in that way, because I only worked in black and white before, and since sitting next to Amy, I've all of a sudden got loads of colour in my work, which is really strange. Because I've been trying to get colour incorporated in my work for 2 years, and it didn't happen, and then it's like all of a sudden, bright purple.
It's got small classes that the lecturers get, to spend time with us, a lot more time than you would in a larger university or something.
Yeah,
so it's really good in that way.
Everyone does seem to know each other, and even if it's not no, you've always seen everyone.
Yeah.
You know what everyone.
There's never a new face.
And that's quite cool. Because you walk up and down, you can see everyone's work. You know who's working on what, and as you said, people will just come over to you and go, oh, I thought your work was like this. Do you know them? Yeah, that sort of thing. And then you get to find out the artists through everyone else, really.
Yeah, I think a major thing is in first year you do have open plan spaces, which I don't think any other university incorporates. I think all the spaces are just the same and you just switch every year. But you have an open plan space. In second year you get less so, and then in third year you get the kind of inclusive space.
Yeah.
Because you're prepared to deal with it, and you are kind of invested 100% in your own work. Whereas first year, I think it's really important to bond with your class, and then so those bonds transfer year after year.
Yeah, definitely. I think I hadn't really noticed that before, but definitely, I think possibly it's to encourage you to have more confidence. So when I first came here, I remember I was really insecure about my drawing, and now I'll just sit on the street and draw. But they encourage you to do things like that. Like, you are really conscious of how you draw, and when you get to third year, it's like, I don't really care.
If you are going in a bad direction for your own art, like, you know, you can have that relationship with your tutors where they can tell you. But like, also, they're so supportive.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, definitely.
And what do you think about sort of the facilities that sort of Glyndŵr has? Do you, I mean, obviously you've got your own art shop here. Do you sort of use creative industries at all?
Well, we find the art shop invaluable for all our
There's not another art shop in
Yeah.
Wrexham, and even in Chester they're quite, you know, spread out and expensive, high end.
You can't carry a big roll of paper from Chester.
It's nice to be really little something like you've got a shop on campus, you can just nip downstairs and get something you need last minute. It's really handy to have, yeah.
School. The resources are great as well. I mean, all the technicians. I think a major thing is the resources are a perfect balance of, you know, informal, as in like you can approach technicians about ideas and they will, you know, they are invested in the students, they will help you out.
So this is, for most of you, I think, the end of your third year, and at the moment you're getting assessed, is that right? If you could maybe sort of talk about sort of what happens at this time of year, kind of useful for other people who are thinking about joining.
Well, we get given a formative assessment and a summative assessment, and I think it's the formative is basically tutors will look at your work, what you've done so far, and if you need to add anything to it or they think something isn't right or a bit of guidance really, you can change it when you want to, and then when you come back after Christmas for us, we'll have our summative and that'll be our final kind of, that's our mark, can't change it. And
So
that's
useful to have.
it really is, yeah.
You get to do extra things.
Yeah.
You do sort of feel like that happens throughout the year, though, really,
Yeah.
because you've got that close connection with the teachers. They'll say, we've just finished this module, but you failed to hit that sort of mark, and make sure you do that before before the end of the holiday sort of thing. And they'll just keep going through it with you, so that when you come to this formative assessment, although they're marking you really just to see that you're on course, but they know all the points on how to rate your work. So though everyone really is pretty much on course and you're going to pass, but
It's always
really
important. It's just important to know that you're at this level. To get to this level, you need to do this, which is really important, especially for fine art, because sometimes you do get too lost in the work and you need to see it objectively. Just like this is actually what I'm exhibiting, what the audience will be seeing. I think that's the thing. Formative assessment drags you out from your personal process, and it forces you to look at what the pieces will look like to the audience, your connection with your audience, which is a massive stage towards being a professional artist.
Also, as well, I think the formative is there, so a lot of the times, normally when you finish an assignment, you get to a point where you're like, I wish I'd have time to just do this. It gives you that extra 3 weeks to actually put that in place, because if you treat that like a deadline, then you can always take it further.
Makes you really efficient.
Yeah, definitely.
Which can cutthroat with your own work.
At the beginning of the module, we're also given a brief, which gives us all the aims and the outcomes that we need to achieve to get marks for it. So we have almost like a checklist. So we can say, oh, I've done that, it's okay, I've done this. Then there's this one point that you've missed out, then you can obviously do that, catch up, and they give us all the pointers that we need at the beginning, so we know what to do throughout the module then.
So you're sort of guided throughout the year then.
Because at the end of the day, it's still a graded course. It needs the checkpoints, and it's just a really good way for us as artists to be able to do that, provide well-marked work.
And there's another important thing is as well at this time, in the third year we've got the dissertation to do, which is very necessary, and it's very helpful in some respects to do that. So this is running sort of simultaneously. We've got to get the dissertation done as well before
There is a huge focus in the third year that you dissertation
period.
next.
So it really brings it home that you've only got a few months left, and then you're on your own. So it's all coming at once. But it's strange how you think, dissertation, why am I doing this? It's got nothing to do with my art as such. It has, because usually there's something in there that obviously relates to your art practice. Such as for me, it's really helped my work rather than just the writing. It's amazing what I've discovered in the research for the dissertation. So it works, even though it's writing, it's not art. But
They still run alongside each other, so you still have to. They like you to work on your dissertation and your project work at the same time, so it kind of links together.
So is it, your dissertation is that like the theory sort of side of things, or is it kind of the
not necessarily. It's kind of you choose a subject that is related possibly to your work, because it helps. You're encouraged to choose something that does relate to your work. It might be a bit tenuous, but generally it does relate.
It'll always turn into theory, because at the end of the day you're supposed to be focusing it on your work. They'll have to run parallel at some point, join together. So it might just start out as kind of a written document of something you're interested in, but it will always turn into theory when it comes into the studio.
Like, we do have Creative Futures Week, and that really prepares us for after university what you're going to go into next, like job prospects and everything. So we have artists that come in and talk to us about their own experiences and what they're into now, and we also have people from like art therapy and the BBC and everything that come in and talk to us about what we could go into possibly. So it is really good for looking at what you're going to go into next, like the future.
It's always really inspiring.
Yeah.
You do realise the amount of options that actually are available to you.
Yeah.
Having someone actually sat in front of you that's done that is
So
brilliant. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's brilliant. Creative Futures is brilliant for all the students, and in third year it's very important because it just gets you in a frame of mind. I mean, you know, you're in one frame of mind when you're in the studio, you're in another frame of mind when you're getting assessed, another frame of mind when you're in dissertation. But Creative Futures is the actual professional. I'm leaving university now. I want to become an art therapist or a professional artist.
We have a final exhibition at the end of every year, which the third years take part in, and you just display your work and all the community, and they come around and look, and that's when the work that gets assessed.
And so, but as each year you've been here, you've kind of experienced the show. Then, what's the sort of feeling like? Sort of, is it sort of?
It's a real place, but you know when the show's coming up.
Because all the 30 years of panic.
Running around.
At the end of it, the building's like transformed. It's
Yeah.
amazing, like the possibilities of this building for exhibiting purposes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it just becomes a gallery. Pristine.
Transforms from messy artist studio with paint all over the floor and off the walls to the white wall and
It's
everything's
really
clean.
interesting to see that happen as well. Like
Yeah.
you see everyone's work goes down, and then everyone's working together as a community to just sort of get it ready for the third years, and they're still working away at their work trying to get it finished. And then when it goes there, everyone's just like, it's getting there, and it's just amazing to see how everyone floods together to help out the third years, and it's just the way it's done. Everyone expects it for being that way, and it is because it's the end of our year as well, and we're going to go home straight after that. It's like a farewell to the third years at the same time.
It's like a massive party.
And so, I mean, it must be quite exciting, basically, because you get sort of put this into the public, isn't it? So
It's an event. It really is an event in every sense of the word. It's not just the end of year degree show. It feels like an event, like so many people get involved. I mean, there's there's always like a couple of headhunters, but also the local community, local artists, previous graduates. Just it's a huge event. Yeah, it's brilliant.
It seems to get bigger every year.
Yeah, it does get bigger every year. I think it's word spread.
Is it a good opportunity for making contacts for when you finish?
Definitely, yeah. Always make sure you've got your business cards.
Plenty of cards by one.
Yeah, and also I know as part of sort of your courses as well, you sort of go on visits to galleries and things. Maybe you can talk a bit about that.
Yeah. We're given a sort of objective when going into a gallery to talk about a certain aspect of work, talk about how to interrogate an object or how to look at someone's particular practice. So to go into the gallery with that in mind, and then to really study the artist when they're in front of you is invaluable, really, to get that experience.
It's nice going through galleries with the tutors, actually, in a strange way, to kind of see how they approach looking at work. It's a valuable experience.
So encouraged to get work experience as well. There's always things going on, and then I've explored opportunities for work experiences going to usually local, working in galleries and working in...
The bulletin is brilliant for that. There's always artists for collaborations, professional artists that will come in and ask for people that are interested. They always on the bulletin as well. And it sounds simple, but it is one of those things that makes the course a lot more efficient. Competition deadlines, like various different shows and stuff coming up, and it is really important because sometimes you do get involved in your own work so much that you just forget.
So you're kind of encouraged to do other things as well.
Massively.
It's like get your connections, the important connections with other artists. But when you do leave, you've still got those connections that you made from
We'll always
uni.
encourage outside artists to come in and work within the uni. And even this year now, our tutors are encouraging us to go back to our colleges for work placements.